purpose. It means that you have to be intentional, intentional with your practice. So show up, get up, and show out. That's what I say, right? So during when it's time to practice, now listen, you can practice in your relationship. I practice in my relationship with my wife. I've been married 33 and a half years. Yeah, give it up for me. No, give it up for her. She hung in there. But so for 33 and a half years, another things that I practice having dialogue. Okay, if I say this, she may say that, right? Well, she said before that she likes when I do this, so I'm going to practice doing that so that when it's time for me to do it, I can do it well. Like for example, if it's something like helping around the house, we don't have her chores and his chores. We all help out. So no such thing, and at least in our household, it's a man's job. Here's a woman's job. No, I vacuum, wash dishes, etc. My wife can do the things, take out trash, etc. That sometimes traditionally people say it's a man's role. No, we're a team. We're working together. Everybody knows what everybody knows in our household. But there are things that she used to say, um, that's important to her. Like for example, if I'm cleaning, there are things that are important to her. It happened today. I was vacuuming the carpet, helping her out. She's getting ready to go away later today. I was helping her out vacuuming. She said, "Oh, babe, you got to pull the chair all the way back." I'm like, "Okay, who's doing this?" But she said, "But now I got to practice that." So vacuuming, get up close to the couch. I can see lines. She's looking for lines, all that kind of stuff, right? So it's practice. So I practice when she's not around, so that when it's time to perform, your boy comes through. Right? But take keep in mind that it's really important. The third thing that we want to have conversations around is excellence is not a skill; it's a habit born out of consistent practice. Born out of consistent um, practice. Excellence is not a skill. Capture that for a moment. Excellence is not a skill. It is born out of consistent it's born out of consistent practice. So what are you consistent about practicing? What are you consistent about to build that? What separates amateur from a professional? Practice. 10,000 hours of practice separates a professional and an amateur. An amateur practice until they get it right. A professional practice till they can't get it wrong. Different mindset, different level, different skill sets develop, right? Does that make sense? The way you practice today will shape your performance tomorrow. The way that you practice today will shape your performance tomorrow. Practice doesn't make perfect. I love this one. I like this one. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect performance. So the emphasis now is placed on the way that we practice. I hope you're getting these notes. I hope you're understanding this. Listen, if you got some comments, please comment below as we're going through this. I'll respond to the comments. We got the chat box open. If you want to have a conversation in around that, um, your performance is a mere reflection of your practice. Ouch. When I played basketball, my first year, well, when I first tried out for basketball, man, I'm telling you what, your boy wasn't good. I wasn't good at all when I tried out for basketball. I grew 6 or 7 inches during the summer, so I went from, I don't know, I was like five. I don't even know how tall I was, but I went like to like 6 foot. I guess I was like 5'6", 5'7". I grew like literally 5 or 6 inches like in a summer. Just boom, I shot up. So I'm tall, but I didn't have that uh what's that's the word I'm thinking of. I didn't have that balance or control. I was dumpy. So subsequently, I wasn't that good at basketball. And I tried out I remember trying out for a basketball team, and that first year I didn't make it. Man, I thought, man, it's easy. I just go on the court and I could play. How hard can it be? I didn't make the team, man. I was devastated. So that summer, I started to practice. And I made a decision in my mind. I was going to have the highest shooting percentage on my team. So I practice. I get to the basketball court well before anyone else. I would just shoot free throw after free throw after free throw after free throw. I take a 6 foot jump shot. I take an 8 foot jump shot. I take a 10 foot jump shot. I took the 12 foot jump shot. Next year I made the team. And not only did I make the team as an 11th grader on a junior varsity team, the coach invited me to play with the varsity team, sit on the bench of the varsity team. Now listen, this was my first year playing organized basketball. I played basketball on the court, on the playground. Um, and then I went to try out, play organized high school ball. Didn't make the team my 10th grade year. Made the team my 11th grade year, right? Um, but I'm going to have the highest shooting percentage and the high free, and I had that on my JV team, and I had it um, on the varsity team. But what's the point? The point is that I made a decision, right? I made a decision that my practice had to be perfect because it was going to lead to my performance, right? The other thing is that one of the keys of boosting your performance is that your performance is a mirror reflection of your practice. And the next key then is the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is practice. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is practice. Now, again, I'm just highlighting the 10 keys of where we're going, and then we're going to um, we're going to break down each of these points. Going to have a conversation about it. Your practice is the foundation upon your performance is built. Your practice is the foundation upon which your performance is built. The only way, the only way to achieve exceptional performance is through deliberate practice. And then, of course, key number 10 is your performance is a direct result of the effort you put into your practice. So, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be looking at boosting your performance, specifically focusing in, Fred, on the way that you practice. Now, you can apply this to sports. You can apply it to your job. You can apply it to your career. You can apply it to your relationship. We do share these tips with married couples. You think about it, having a conversation about boosting your relationship, practice in your marriage. Yeah. So, and sometimes in practicing in a relationship, let me just hit you with this. Sometimes either or one of the spouse, you got to act like the other person is acting the way that they're supposed to act, and you'll find out that it's going to change the way you act. You got to act like that other person is acting the way that he or she needs to act, and what you'll find is going to change the way that you act. Now, I can't get into that right now. I just wanted to drop that with you. But this is part of that thing about practice. Think about this. We get insurance on our cars. We get insurance for our bodies. We get insurance for our homes. When was the last time you insured your relationship? With practice. When was the last time you insured your career with growing and developing in your career? Listen, here's what I say to professionals. When was the last time you read a book about your career, your vocation? When was the last time? If you're in sales, when was the last time you read a book on sales? Right? If you're in HR, when was the last time you read a book on HR? If you're in the medical field, when was the last time you read a book on a medical field, your particular area of practice? Right? So these are things that you take and you mix into this idea, this conversation on boosting our performance. So I hope that you found value in this short conversation, because we're going to be building on this conversation, man, because our performance is a prophecy of the way that we practice. I thank you, my friend, for your time at the Motivate podcast show. We always say less, but we definitely want to believe for more. I'll see you soon.